Today we're doing part 2 of transactional writing. If you missed video 1, where I taught you how to write a persuasive letter, you really must go back and watch that before you come back to this lesson. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how to turn a letter into a powerful speech or an article. As a really quick recap, I just want to tell you what we did last lesson. We looked at selecting your stance, so what side you're on, deciding your 3 best points, introducing who you are, writing 3 body paragraphs, which include a topic sentence and evidence, and then signing off. The good news is that's all the hard bit done. Because for your speech, your 3 body paragraphs are gonna stay exactly the same. You're literally cut and pasting them into your speech. The only thing that will change is your opening and your ending. Because obviously you can't stand on stage to do a speech and everyone's watching you and you say, "To whom it may concern." So that's not gonna be great. We need to think of an actual speech opening and a speech ending. We want to avoid starting speeches with, "My name is Marine and today I will talk to you about becoming a vegetarian," because that is very boring. Imagine if Martin Luther King went on stage and did that. He wouldn't do that. So we want your opening to be imaginative. You need to be different from all the other students. The examiner has got a pile of like 300 scripts and each one's like, "Hello, my name is Bob. Hello, my name is Billy." Boring. We need to capture the examiner's attention and make it really like bang, bang, snazzy, I'm different, I'm here. My 4 favorite ways to start a speech are: number 1, start with 3 one-word sentences as a 1-line paragraph. Something like destruction, devastation, death. I think it's very dramatic, it's interesting, it's different. So that will definitely capture the examiner's attention as a student who's doing something a little bit different from everyone else. You might recognize that opening from my descriptive writing lesson. It's a nice safe bet. Like you can definitely probably think of something on the spot when you're in your exam. So I like that, let's write that down. Number 2, you can start with a shocking statistic. Something like, "By the time I finish reading this speech, 1,000 animals will be dead." This is kind of emotive, shocking. I want to hear the rest of this speech. You basically want them to stay on and listen to the rest of your speech and not just leave the room. Number 3, start with a rhetorical question. Have you ever wondered what it's like to be caged awaiting slaughter? So again, it's making the reader think straight away. And number 4, the last one is my favorite option. You start with an "imagine this," and then you really set the scene. This is for all of my students who enjoy writing stories, who enjoy descriptive writing. That gives you a chance to be really creative and descriptive. Set the scene, imagine this, right at the beginning of your speech, before you explain who you are, why you're writing, and then you go into your body paragraphs and all that real transactional stuff. It will look something like this. Imagine this. You're a tiny sheep running in fields filled with chrysanthemum and lavender, basking under the rays of the Midas-kissed sun. The melody of your mother's laughter and your sister's chatter floats in the balmy air, comforting you like a blanket. You are safe. You are happy. You are free. Now imagine this. One night, out of the blue, you are snatched from the warmth of your bed, stolen from the safety of your home. You are sliced and abused. You are no longer with your family. They will never see you again. And for what? Human greed. Don't you love that? Imagine like I've got all these metaphors, I've got my vocabulary, I've got sentence structure, I've got all that good stuff at the beginning, and then I can go into the actual like, everyone should be vegetarian, these are my reasons why. So after that, I will explain who I am, what my stance is really clearly, what side I'm on, just like you did in your letter. So it will look something like this. As a vegetarian, I have experienced the benefits of cutting out meat from my diet firsthand, but I also understand the significance of treating animals with respect. I strongly feel that in a world full of catastrophic environmental disaster, it is crucial for everyone to be vegetarian, not just for themselves, but to preserve the world around them. At this point, you've introduced who you are, what your stance is. We had that bang bang opening where we were different from all the other kids and we grabbed the examiner's attention. Now you can insert your 3 body paragraphs. This is where you do your firstly, this is why we should be vegetarian. Secondly, this is why. And then at the end of the speech, we ideally want to make your speech cyclical, which means we want the ending to kind of link back to what you said in the opening. And that way we can get some extra marks for structuring for effect. So my ending would be something like this. We must no longer shatter the environment that shelters us. We must no longer abuse the planet that protects us. Human greed can no longer be used as an excuse. Do you see, I was basically like, human greed is something I mentioned earlier. I'm mentioning all those things that I said in my intro, in my conclusion, to really sum up and conclude that speech. It's clever, isn't it? So that is how you write a persuasive speech. Now, if you are asked to write an article, it's very similar, but you need a headline. Try to make your headline catchy. So use alliteration or a pun. Pun is like wordplay. For example, if I think of a vegetarian one, it'll be something like, let us be happy. Do you get it? It's a pun, it's like vegetables. Anyway, if you can't think of a pun on the day, it doesn't really matter because you can just use alliteration or a rhetorical question and that will still do the job as long as you've got one of those things in your headline. For example, ban beef and live longer. It's alliteration, ban beef, live longer. Just make sure you start every word of your headline with capital letters. And the rest of your article is going to be the same as your speech. Remember, for transactional writing, the creative writing mark scheme still applies, just like when we were practicing describing a picture. So you are still marked for language devices, got to get those metaphors in there, long and short sentences, different sentence starters, long and short paragraphs including a 1-line paragraph somewhere, sophisticated vocabulary, a range of sophisticated punctuation, still got to get your semicolons and stuff in there, and technical accuracy. So that's it. I hope you found this video helpful. If I were you now, I would go away and write a letter, then practice turning that letter into a speech, and then practice adding a little headline as an article. Just so whatever comes up in your exam, whatever form they ask you to write in, you feel confident. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and don't forget to check out the rest of the videos in this series.